Tonight on Business Live, fuel prices go up at some pumps as petrol is now selling at 13 cedis 50 pesos, while diesel goes for 13 cedis 90 pesos. Also in this bulletin, producer price inflation inches up to 32.7% from the 29.2% recorded in June 2023.
Price index for the month of July 2023 stood at 196.3 relative to 194.7 that was recorded for the same time July 2022.
On the Joy Business Van, we conclude our story on how startup Simply Green is helping improve the health of its clients. We have details of these and many others shortly. Grateful you could join us. I am Pius Kojo Baka. Let's now settle for the details. Some oil marketing companies have started increasing prices of petroleum products at the pumps. Total Energies has increased the price of petrol to 13 cedis 50 pesos from 12 cedis 45 pesos at the beginning of the month. Diesel is also going for 13 cedis 90 pesos from the previous price of 12 cedis 45 pesos. Goil has also increased petrol to 13 cedis 50 pesos and diesel to 13 cedis 90 pesos per litre. But the rest of the major oil marketing companies are expected to also adjust prices from today. Earlier, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, COPEC, announced that fuel prices will see an increase of about 5.7% in the second pricing window of August. Now, government is ready to support any advocacy by the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC, to increase the country's interest from the various oil fields. This is an assurance from a Deputy Minister for Finance, Dr. John Kuma. According to him, traditional authorities often question the country's ability to have more interest from the oil and gas resources. Speaking at the launch of the new PIAC logo and data dashboard in Accra, Dr. Kuma charged the committee to lead an advocacy for the country to increase the stake from the country's oil resources. Here's more.
There has been questions concerning the country's inability to increase investment in the discovery of extractives in order to increase its earnings. Giving the keynote address to launch its new data dashboard and logo, Deputy Minister of Finance, Dr. John Kuma, said the Public Interest and Accountability Committee must lead such discussions.
Ghana's interest in our extractive industry is limited to maybe 10% or 15% of the resources, and not 55% or 60%. I think that discussion must be taken over by PIAC, because as government, you know the interest and our limitations. But when such issues are raised vehemently and pushed by PIAC, as a nation, I believe we can see changes in the terms, because it is not easy based on contracts we have signed. But everything is possible where there's a will.
The new logo has key elements like an oil rig, oil drop, and the Ghana CD sign to reflect what PIAC does and its role. PIAC's corporate colors, black, which signifies crude oil, and gold, which stands for wealth, are also reflected in the new logo. Chairman of the committee, Professor Kwame Adom-Frimpong, said the modified logo shows that it plays a key role in ensuring revenues from the production of crude oil are utilized in a manner that benefits all citizens.
We decided that no, what the logo contains should have a meaning. That's why we sat down and then planned and came out with this new logo. But once we are bringing this out, we need to let all the media, especially, to know what is going on, and this will go rightly with our mandate of what is enshrined in the Act, that's the Petroleum Revenue Act. So this logo portrays the identity of PIAC.
The redesigned logo and dashboard provide easy access to information on Ghana's petroleum sector.
A while longer on energy, policy lead for petroleum at ISEP, Kojo Yauche, is projecting a further drop in Ghana's crude oil savings. Ghana's savings from crude oil exports since it started producing oil in commercial quantities has declined marginally. The Ghana Petroleum Fund's report showed that it dropped to $1 billion ending June this year. Mr. Yauche blamed this on the finance minister's total disregard for the rules on how petroleum revenues are to be managed.
If you look at the criteria for taking the money, you should take it when there are shortfalls in petroleum revenue that goes into the budget. So if you have shortfalls and the ABFA cannot support the budget like it used to the previous year, then you have to now take that money. That is why it was justified during 2020 when government had to dip their hands to take 200 million to support the budget because of COVID. Now we have increased revenue. Last year, revenue increased by $1 billion. We are expecting that the same trend this year, which means that there will be enough to support the budget. So you shouldn't have the situation where the finance minister will consistently tap because the ABFE will be sufficient to support the budget. If those withdrawals were not have been made, we would have accumulated about $3 billion in the Ghana Petroleum Funds till date. But we have only $1 billion because over the years, every year, the finance minister will withdraw. Last year, it was around $500 million that was withdrawn over the cap, and we are expecting more. So this 83 is just for the first half of the year. By the end of the year, you should expect that amount of withdrawal to go up. It's symptomatic of the finance ministry, the finance minister, and their total disregard for the rules that govern how petroleum revenues are to be managed in the country. We've not had these blatant breaches of the law like we are having now.
Away from energy-related stories, the producer price inflation rate for July 2023 has inched up to 32.7%. This rate indicates that between July 2022 and July 2023 year-on-year, the PPI increased by 32.7%, representing a 3.5 percentage point increase in producer inflation relative to the rate recorded in June 2023 of 29.2%. However, the month-on-month change in the PPI between June 2023 and July 2023 was 0.8%. Professor Samuel Kobnenim is the government statistician.
The producer price index for the month of July 2023 stood at 196.3 relative to 194.7 that was recorded for the same time July 2022. Given these two indices, prices of goods and services between July 2022 and July 2023 have gone up by 32.7%. This increase of 32.7% signifies a 3.5 percentage point difference between the rates that we recorded June 2023 and July 2023. On a month-on-month basis, a producer price inflation of 0.8% has been recorded for the month of July 2023 relative to 0.6 that was recorded for the month of June 2023, indicating a 0.2 percentage point between producer price inflation for June 2023 and July 2023. At the subsector level, we did realize that industry recorded a producer inflation of 35.7, construction 18.5, and services 17.0.
A while longer with the Statistical Service because they have set October 15 to conduct the first phase of the 2023 Integrated Business Establishment Survey for the collection of business data to help in policy formulation. According to the service, the objective of the survey is to ascertain challenges businesses face. Speaking at the stakeholders consultative meeting, government statistician Professor Samuel Kobnenim highlighted the significance of the survey in the categorization of businesses in the country. Here's more. The 2023 Integrated Business Establishment Survey, which will commence in October this year, has a range of objectives including the development of an updated online business register, the categorization update of businesses, and the profiling of business distributions based on firmographs. Speaking at a consultative meeting with stakeholders in Accra, Government statistician Professor Samuel Kobnenim said the survey will help to ascertain the value of businesses and determine structural changes in businesses over time.
It's how we can ensure that the challenges that we had to endure during the pandemic, we make an attempt to provide data to overcome those challenges. At the height of the pandemic, policymakers desperately were looking out for alternatives to identify businesses that were vulnerable, businesses that were fragile. They were approaching Ghana Statistical Service on how do we get this.
In an interview with Joy Business, coordinator of the survey, Anthony Kraka, stated that the survey will cost 160 million cedis and will enumerate every business in the country.
We are spending about 160 million cedis, that's about $50 million on this activity. This census activity is going to benefit the business community, it's going to benefit the state, it's going to benefit individuals or communities. For the businesses who want to grow, who wants to enhance their profitability, who wants to be more competitive, must necessarily use this data to inform their strategic decisions.
Meanwhile, some business associations who spoke to Joy Business believe the data which will be collected will go a long way to help in their strategic plan for their future businesses.
The issue about numbers, where the demographics is very critical. How many people live in a particular community? What are the income levels of people? What kind of business do they do? You know, all these things will inform us on how to strategize on where to provide housing when it is required.
Honestly, this exercise is not new to us because on a regular basis we provide information to public agencies, and a typical one is the Ghana Tourism Authority. They undertake annual inspection for licensing, and we provide such information to them. Even the EPA and all the other regulatory bodies, regularly we provide information to them. We deal with the Ghana Revenue Authority, we provide information. Okay, so with regards to providing accurate data, that shouldn't be a challenge at all. And as we've been made to know, we've all become ambassadors of the Ghana Statistical Service from today to ensure that our members are made aware of this exercise.
The 2023 Integrated Business Establishment Survey is set to begin in October 2023, with the results expected to be published in February 2024, offering a comprehensive and up-to-date snapshot of the country's business landscape. Away from the statistical service, concerned ex-employees of GN Savings and Loans have appealed to the President to issue an executive order for the Governor of the Bank of Ghana to reinstate the bank. Though the bank was reclassified from a commercial bank to a savings and loans company with threats of insolvency, this was not enough to save the institution, which had close to 5,000 direct and indirect employees, over 1.3 million customers, and 300 branches across the country at the time. Now, speaking at a press conference to commemorate 4 years of the revocation of the license, the Eswell Bank, convener of the group, Kofi Fosu, said the move will restore lost jobs and strengthen the informal economy.
Life after the revocation of GN license has been terrible nightmare for majority of the employees. Most ex-staff have remained jobless as a result of the limited job opportunities in the country, as well as the stigmatization associated with the revocation of license, such that former or ex-employees apply for jobs and they will look at them with skepticism and say, sorry, we can't employ you. But you may know that at the onset and to the level that we got to, these were the same staff that propelled the bank to the level that the bank got to. Now they become outcasts. One other important concern has to do with our pension benefits. The revocation of the license has had an adverse effect on our pensions. Majority of the ex-employees are unable to make contributions towards their pensions for the last 4 years since revocation. We recognize that the bank was faced with some liquidity challenges at certain points as a result of delays on the part of borrowers to settle their loan obligations on time. But a substantial portion of this credit default were due to the government's inability to honor its obligation to most of our customers who have executed jobs for some state institutions. And I'm referring to contractors and suppliers of services to state institutions. We believe that the regulator, which is the Bank of Ghana, could have resorted to a more progressive and human-centric approach to remedy the situation and the difficulties at the time, rather than the iron-fisted method adopted to revoke the license of the bank. This is very sad. We therefore passionately appeal to the President of the Republic to intervene by using his executive powers to urge the Governor of Bank of Ghana to restore the operating license of GN Savings.
You're still watching Business Live, Business Van after this break. Thanks so much for watching Business Life. I am Pius Kojobaka. See you tomorrow. Bye.